I'm going to give an update today on my indoor seedling progress. Indoors, I do not have a greenhouse, so that means indoors in my house, from my windowsills. And I hope to answer the question, can I start my seedlings indoors without a grow light? The answer is yes. Now, before I show you some of these seedlings, I just want a quick preamble or rant. I'm a member on a few gardening forums, and it's that time of year when we are all starting our seeds indoors for those vegetables that need a bit more time. And people are proudly showing off their seedlings and pictures, and it's wonderful sharing for the most part. But inevitably, someone who's just posted, a new gardener, so proud of their seedlings, says, "Oh, I've got broccoli coming up." And somewhere in the comments, someone says, "Oh, you need grow lights. Oh, those are leggy. You can't grow without grow lights." And it breaks my heart. I posted a picture a while ago, 3 weeks ago, some lettuce, with a picture of lettuce I was growing on my windowsill. And someone said, "Those look awesome. You should get grow lights." For that new gardener, who may not be able to find it in their budget to get grow lights, or just can't get out to get them, or just wants to start with a $2 seed pack to see what food they can grow for their family. I don't think we should. I want you to know that of course it can be done. So that's what I want to speak to as we go around. Fortunately, the time to start your seedlings is really when we have longer daylight hours. However, as you can see outside right now, it's snowing here, and there's a lot of gray, dull days where the light is less. And yes, that plays a factor, and yes, grow lights would be a blessing. But this window, the first one I'm showing you, is a south, well, this is south and this is east, but for some reason, and this is what you look for, which window seems to get the lighting that your plants need. And that just comes with time, and you play around and you move plants around to see what works. For some reason, real heat-loving plants get a late sun here, not the early sun, and it seems a bit longer, and they love it as the sun is coming across here. So here's a pepper plant, try to get some light on it, which is producing peppers and lots of flowers. And this is for indoor growing, this one. I'm just going to leave him inside. And he's happy. He's grown not leggy. He's nice and bushy all over. I have not topped this pepper plant off, just letting him do his thing. And you'll see that it's looking totally healthy. Here's my globe artichokes. I'm pleased that they're doing well. They're a little more ahead than I had last year, which is what I was hoping for. So I did seed these 2 weeks. You might have seen that in the previous video. This is just 2 onions. I've given up on growing onions from seed. This do not do. Here's a do not do. Starting squash as early as this. This was a, I was just seeing if these seeds were still viable because they're really, really old. And then I Googled, and it said that what it is a birdhouse gourd, and I have loofah gourds that I bought a long time ago, probably at least 6 years. And but then when I Googled it, I read that they last forever. So I thought, oh, I'm going to stick them in before I throw them out. And sure enough, they came up. And so I'm going to baby these. Now, I don't have a long enough season to get a birdhouse, so I think that this is probably a plan that may work, because they wouldn't have made it anyway. This is just some herbs that I've potted into this pot to grow on, and if I've got 4 in there. So I've got oregano, no I don't, that is summer savory, 2 basils and a parsley. And if I want to put those out when the season is right, when the weather's warm, then I may do that or leave them there. Leeks. I've got the earlier ones I planted. These are rally leeks. I have given them 2 haircuts now. And they love the windowsills, have no problem. They're a cool plant, so they don't even have to be in quite as much sunlight. This is some chives I've potted on. This is the loofahs that I mentioned. Okay, here's another thing to watch out for when you're growing indoors. Anywhere actually, indoors or outdoors. This plant has been diseased since the time it started growing. I've left it because it's not really hurting anything else. And it's got lots of flowers, cucumber flowers, so I'm just going to play that one out. But that's just for fun for me. But if you see diseased plants, or certainly if you see bugs on plants, which this could be, I throw them out. You have to get a tough skin and just realize, whoops, that one's not going to make it, and throw them out, because you don't want the rest of your plants to get infected. You do have to take care of that. Okay, here's some seedlings of basil. They've been at this stage for quite a while. You'll notice they're not leggy. They're actually doing well. In fact, here's another set of seedlings. These are another basil, actually, Thai basil, and they're almost getting their 3rd leaf. In fact, this one is working on its 3rd leaf. They're very happy. The trick about indoors is as close to the windows for your seedlings as you possibly can. I mean close. For those seedlings when they emerge, so they're not leggy. And I'll give you an example of ones I've grown to show you the difference. And the reason that I've scattered the seeds, I will prick them out. But this is to maximize, or minimize, I should say, the legginess. At this stage, as close to the window as possible is how I do seed starts. Okay, so that's one of my tricks. Here's another set of leeks. Planted probably a month later. No, 2 weeks maybe after those ones. Here's another south-facing windows. Most homes have a south-facing window, and that's your best bet. If you don't, well, it's a lot tougher. But there are other ways. You could do the winter sowing outside in a container. Just a couple of herbs here that I'm growing on. That would be chives and basil. And this is just some green onions. This is also south-facing. Now, admittedly, I have a lot of windows. But here's some lettuce coming to its end. I just haven't had the heart to toss it yet, because we're still using it for, I just use it for sandwiches now. Here's some more herbs. Just going to grow those on. Let me flip them around. Another trick, always flip around so that your plants are going, you know, they're always going to lean one way or the other. Now these were already pricked out and put into here, and they're okay. They're not too bad. So I also always touch my plants just to make them feel that they're getting some wind or something. Here's some more herbs. I've got parsley and basil. Now here's another set with It Gets Light. Oh my goodness, look at my little friend there. But not as much for some reason as that first window I showed you. But these will be pricked out. They're doing okay. I'm just waiting till all of them come up. And here's another. So these are my, this is collards, and this is broccoli. So my seedlings, I start off as close to the window surface as possible. Then they're pricked out and put into cellular trays. I obviously have a lot here. And when you're starting off, you're going to pick the vegetables that you want to eat. The ones that can't be direct sown, and that you do have to start a little early, and it won't be as many as these. So here we have some peppers and some eggplant and more peppers. They are waiting to go into the next pot stage. Here's my celery. Still looking quite great. I have celery, celeriac, two types of celery, a pink one, and I can already see this is starting to look pink. Isn't that cute? And dill in there for some reason. They look pretty good. They look pretty good. They'll need more nutrition, you see, at some point if they start to look like they're going a bit lighter color. These are purple sprouting broccoli, which I don't grow in my climate. They take a long time to grow, like months and months, and are overwintered. I can't do that, so this is an experiment, and I'm just having fun. Don't be afraid to experiment. It's how we learn. This is cabbage. The last row there. And some more cabbage. Some flowers, or I think, oh, I don't know what's in this. There's some green onions, and more green onions, I believe. These are probably, I'm not going to use, I seeded too many of the wrong type of basil, so I'm just letting those go. I probably won't keep them. Here we have my Brussels sprouts and eggplants and peppers. My Brussels sprouts I'm keeping a close eye on because they've been in here for a little while. They're still looking fine. They have a lot of leaves on them. I'm very happy with them. And they will soon need to get more nutrition, and I will pot them on so they get the nutrients needed in a larger pot with fresh soil. Here's what I planted, really just to show as an experiment. I don't really use this. When you buy these trays, they come with these Jiffy pods, and you know the holes there, and you put your seed in, and if you follow the directions, this is what you get. Now I just did this to show for the video, but I'm not going to waste them. I will actually rip them out of here to pot on. But this is cabbage and kale or something. But I wanted to show that it could be a bit disappointing when you do this, because there is no way in the world that you can get this tray, unless you've got, I don't know, some interesting setup, as close as possible to the glass in your window. And they are just going to reach for the sun. That's all they can do. And whereas what I'm doing there and potting on, you push your plants down as deep as you can. Most seedlings, when pricked out young, can be planted very far down to their first set of leaves, which is what I'll do with these. But just as an example, this can be very disappointing, I know, because you think you're doing what it says to do. And someone's going to tell you, oh, your seedlings are leggy. By the way, don't despair. Do not despair. They plant low down. Just make sure that you are very careful with your stems. Grab by your leaves, of course, and find a pot deep enough to stick those in. Here's some tomatoes. Looking good. Looking good. They will definitely be going into another stage, the larger pot after this. This would be broccoli, I think. Got some leggy ones there. Not concerned about that because your brassicas can be planted deeply down. Most of them look fine though. But again, they are getting less light. They're getting daylight, but not the great sunlight that they need. These tomatoes are doing just fine. And I'm leaving them as is. And there we have flowers. I won't go through those. And there's my potato mess that they're Norlands, that I'll have to check the date and see if I get anything out of those. I do it every year. So I'm going to take you upstairs to where I have my indoor plants. But just a reminder that monitor your plants, take notes from year to year, learn from what you're doing. Each house is unique, each window and the light that comes in it is unique. My pepper plants, by the way, I've never used a heat mat. I've read many times people's comments, actually professionals' comments, saying peppers won't germinate without a heat mat. I've never had a heat mat, and they all germinate just fine. And just to update on my year-round indoors, that's what I call these. I only do it in one bedroom now. I used to do it in two. I can't be bothered. But my only advice with your indoor plants is just let them be. Let them do their thing. Don't stress. It's for fun and extra vegetables. And I mean, look at this madness. But am I worried that it's leggy or crazy? No. There's no fun in that. So let's just take a look at what we've got. This plant has made me very happy. It produces, I swear, I don't know how many a week I get from here. Just keeps on going. So many flowers on those peppers. That's your, what do you call them? Banana pepper? And then tomatoes, very happy to see that they are hanging on. Can you see them? Here's some. What's in here? There's some. So just give them a shake. You will need to give some feed. I don't have any particular, I don't have any tomato feed or great stuff, but I've just yesterday, I think, gave them some chicken manure pellets and topped the soil just a wee bit. And then this, my hot peppers, cayenne, or I'm not sure if it's cayenne or a Thai. Picking and picking and picking and picking these. They're just everywhere, everywhere. And we love them green now because it's a less heat and I can use it in a lot more different dishes for cooking. This plant, I've mentioned before, I was going to keep my eye on and toss out if I need to, but it's now starting. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to get a cage for that one, but I'm going to keep him going. He's still healthy. There are no bugs on these. Indoor growing, you have to make sure. If you had signs of aphid, imagine you couldn't do anything with this. The plants just have to go outside and throw them out. So that's my indoors. So if you're growing seedlings, and don't be afraid to ask me any questions, because I do this year after year. But if you're growing them indoors, don't have a grow light. Trust me, fully understand when we can't put that into our budget. Ask me a question, I'll try my best to answer. Take care, we'll see you next time.